Welcome to another episode of the Real Collective Podcast.
Hey.
What's up, y'all?
I'm like, when is enough enough?
Okay, I feel you on that. That's a really good
It was just some stuff on my chest.
That's a really good topic because you could be talking about like a weight loss journey or relationships or whatever. But I too agree. I think it was this morning I had that aha moment when I put the battery back in the scale.
Not back into the scale.
Right.
Well, I need to get on my luggage scale. But anyway, so I put the battery back in the scale and I got on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh God, when is enough? And I felt like today, I was like, today is the day. Stop making excuses, Dawn. So something got to be done.
Yeah, I think we all get to that point. It's just, it varies depending on the situation. Because I know with me, I had to think about that scale situation as well. And you just got to stop making excuses for yourself. You have to really think about it like, all right, time is precious and another day is passing and you still doing what you was doing before. Like, it ain't going to magically drop off. You're going to have to put the work in. But I think once you get to a point mentally where you're like, okay, I have to do something. I have to get in motion. You know what I'm saying? Because now with the obesity rates and, the media and all of that, it's in your face. But I know with me, I try to put it on the back burner. Like, I ain't even thinking about that right now. I know I'm cute. I know I can look good and you going to take me as I am. But it's not even about that. It's about the health part, like just getting in shape. And I know COVID has been the excuse for everybody
But it wasn't really an excuse, though. It was the truth. Because y'all know me, I was religiously in that gym. Stop laughing. I was in that gym because I'm always on Instagram, like on the
with that one chicken
I was in that.
Thank you, Nay.
Nobody asked me. Anyway, I was religiously before COVID in that gym 5:30 in the morning because that was like my place of like my safe place. Like I could get all my aggressions out in the gym, and I started my day off that way. And then COVID hit, and they shut the gyms down. It wasn't safe to go back in there. And when I did finally get back in there, like in June, July-ish, I was in there with gloves and mask and spray, and I was looking at people with the evil eye, so it wasn't even comfortable. I'm serious. They would come sit next to me. I'd get up and find another machine. I was like, I can't work out like this. Yeah. But I had to find something. I bike ride, walking outside. I got this little stepper I could step while I'm working. I'm going to do something.
Let me just tell y'all this real quick, because I know y'all probably like, what's she talking about with that one chicken wing? So let me give y'all a little quick story.
Please,
we are actually like real friends, y'all. Like, thanks for play. Like, we are friends.
Legit.
So, Bunny called herself trying to be extra fine. She already fine, y'all, but she do the most. She limits herself to one chicken wing. One chicken wing? What you gonna do with that? That's just the taste.
Really nice.
Some guns though, honey, but it could be me.
Listen, I said you got to do it in moderation, right, Roxy? Moderation.
That ain't no moderation.
That's excessive.
Thank you.
My back, Roxy.
I got foods back always. Okay, I'm a foodie before anything, and that's just a shame to the rest of the chicken wings. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
One?
How could you just have one? It's like chips. No, you can't just
have one, and that's all you got. If you pack one, you're gonna eat more. But if I pack one and take it to work, and it wasn't just like one chicken wing. I had like one chicken wing and some squash casserole.
That day did not. That day, ma'am.
Oh Lord.
You literally warmed up that one chicken wing.
She just disciplined. Y'all leave Dawn alone. She disciplined.
I need to get back to that one chicken wing.
No, ma'am.
Dawn.
No.
Watch me work. Anyway, what you got to say?
I know I had kind of that same moment, but I was kind of happy because I was at home when the COVID started, and thank God I was fortunate enough to be home. And I actually started working out more, especially as a family, around March. Now, when it started getting hotter and I didn't have to be out because I was starting my own stuff, I was just like, Yeah, no, I had a nice little break where I did nothing. But even now, like I'm trying to get back up and starting to do my yoga again because it does start my day off better. I used to obsess a lot about that number on the scale, especially when, you know, I kind of started gaining weight because I had gone through something in my life and I just didn't care. Like it just wasn't my main concern no more. And then I looked up one day and I was not happy at all. Like I was like, oh my God, I can't fit into any of my cute stuff no more. I'm not cute. But then I have to wake up one day and I was like, oh,
Right.
cute, baby. Oh.
Right.
So now it's a little bit less of that number versus what am I doing with my family? What am I doing for my own health, my own mental health, of giving myself that time and space in the morning where I do my yoga and I don't do no lightweight stuff. I put myself in weird positions and I'd be like, oh, but that felt so good. So I know what it's like, but you know, quarantine did help me personally get back. But I do take nice breaks because that's what us Tauruses do. Okay.
You're so silly. I know because I started boxing before COVID and then I had to stop when it started. I think I was more motivated when I was boxing. Like I kind of took a little break right now, but I'm gonna get back into it because it's something that I enjoy doing. And I think we make fun of Donnie because she's super disciplined, but I think you just need to have a balance with it, and you have to find something that is something that you can relate to, that you're comfortable doing, and you would actually enjoy doing. So like. Yeah, and then once you figure it out, then you can just, it's not like a task to be like, oh, I gotta go boxing. Oh, I gotta go to the gym. You gotta find something that's fun, something that's entertaining that keeps you
look forward to.
Yeah, like even yoga, like you just have to figure that what works for you. So we can't make fun of Dawn. She's super disciplined.
Dawn is very disciplined.
When she has her mind made up and set on something, this girl gonna stick to it. Like she gonna fulfill it. Cause she always gonna be like, "Ooh, I want that, but I gotta get ready for my trip." I can't. I can't.
Realist,
Honey got it. She got it.
I want to let all our realists know. I'm letting y'all know I'm on this new path, so y'all hold me accountable.
Yes,
I know y'all will. Or I know all them four will.
Will do. I don't know. I'm always the bad one. I'm always encouraging people to eat because I want
girl here.
So that's only my reason. But I know even with what we're talking about with enough is enough, I think another thing that we all kind of hopefully have gone through at some point in our life. A few years ago, I was at a place and I was working for, Fortune 500 company in Georgia. I was making good money, had great benefits. It was really monotonous work. It was easy to do, but the stress of it got to me. And 4 years in, I was a few months away from getting vested. I was getting to a point in my life where I was experiencing migraines, like severe migraines where I would be out 2-3 days a week.
Yeah.
And then dealing with my job, and when you work in corporate America, there's not really much flexibility. You work in a very rigorous operation. That's everybody, well, things happen, figure it out, and it's just like, even if I had to take time or didn't, it was kind of like being held against me. That I was experiencing that. I was going through, finding out that my child had been diagnosed with ADHD. I didn't know who to reach out to, and I was going through all this stuff on my own, where my child was his first year of being on medication, and every day when he was coming out that second pill, and right before he had to go take that second pill at school, he would have a full-blown tantrum because the medicine was now out of his system. I would literally be on my way to work and get a call talking about, hey, your son is, we don't want him to hurt other students or anything like that, because he's coping with something completely new. He knew he was different, but it's just like, now we're introducing medicine, and it's not that I didn't try therapy and, take him to activities. It's just that, like, if your child needed insulin, you wouldn't deny them that insulin.
Right.
I tried every other way, and that was the only answer. So going through that, having migraines, I had to look and be like, yo, enough's enough. And like, I have to put myself first, because I have a small child depending on me. At that time, I didn't have my fiance. It was just me, and I was living with my parents. And I had moved at that point. I was maybe like a year or two into where I was living, and I had to decide, like, am I going to keep this job?
Yeah.
And when I did start looking for jobs, it wasn't right away that I found it. It was like a whole year later. And God brought me to these beautiful ladies. But it was such a transition. And even the job after that I was in, I was only supposed to be there in my head for a year. And I was there a little bit longer. And so when they called me in, they were like, hey, we have to cut back jobs because of COVID. I was like, wow, I never thought it would be me. I never have been let go of a job. So it was just like that moment where I was just like, all right, what's the next step? Either we're going to break down or are we going to go on to the next
Keep
thing.
it moving.
And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm not working for nobody else. When all that stuff started happening with George Floyd and just thinking about my child, that could be my kid next. So at that moment, I was like, I'm never going to work for no one else. So this is why I'm here. This is why we're working on our own businesses, because you do have to realize at some point enough is enough, and you have to, no matter what benefits you have, no matter who you're with, you have to put yourself first.
Yep.
And I think all that kind of ties back to like your health, because that's a stressful situation to be on a stressful job.
Yeah.
And that's affecting your health. So it's like everything ties back to your health. So we have to do these things, for us to be here in the long run. So.
Well, for me, take care of yourself, you're not going to be any good to anyone else.
That's right.
You're right about that. Yeah. For me, I think my aha moment, and I'm in that place now where I'm like, I've had it. Kind of been isolating myself, trying to get more in tune with myself and figure some things out, thinking things through instead of just making, decisions that's just off of impulse. Yeah. But a few people in my life, because of their title, feel like they're obligated to be here. No, enough is enough. I've had it. It's done. Get out of here. Yep. And it doesn't matter if it's your mama, sister, cousin, brother, uncle. It don't matter what the title is. It doesn't matter. I went into the hood, y'all. I'm sorry. But
it's okay.
It doesn't matter if it's toxic and it's dead weight. Let it go.
Let it go.
And it's not easy to do. Sometimes you have to love people from a distance.
Yep.
And sometimes you just have to know when, like, the situation is just out of your control, and you just gotta be like, you know what? You got it. And it's okay to just be like, you got it.
Yep.
And not say anything and just leave. That's my battle and my struggle right now, y'all. But I'm pushing through it.
And we got you.
I'm good for the blocked. I'm good for that. Once you block, I'm not unblocking you for what? It's over with, because
X marks the spot.
Hello, because I give people enough rope to hang themselves.
Yep.
I give people, numerous chances, but at the stage that I am, I'm not gonna continue to give chances. Once you show me your flaw side, you out here. Ain't no coming back. I don't want to talk about it. It's done. So that's my enough is enough. Let it go. Elevate. You can't keep holding on to dead weight. It's gonna weigh you down. So, that's just my little tidbit on it's enough.
Yeah, for sure.
And why you looking so worried? You okay?
I know, girl. We got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they saw us, girls. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Like friendships, and I think that's probably a tough one, because you do develop those relationships with people and you bond. But just like Nate said, if it's toxic, you have to let it go. Like some people try to put that time frame, like, oh, we've been knowing each other for 30 years, or we've been knowing each other for 15 years. Like, that doesn't matter. If out of the 15 years, you've been toxic to me the last 2, that's all that matters to me at this point, because you're bringing me down. You're bringing my mental down. You're stressing me out with your issues. Like,
that's right.
And you do have to figure out when enough is enough dealing with those situations. Like, it's hard. I've had to remove myself from friendships, you know what I'm saying, that weren't healthy, that I felt like were one-sided friendships where they were just taking, and I wasn't really seeing it at first. It took several situations for me to have that aha moment, like, I'm the only one who's actually really being a friend in this situation, and enough is enough. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna keep doing what you're doing with somebody else, but you're not gonna use and manipulate me. You know what I'm saying? So I think the friendship piece and the one with the jobs is, it's hard because you got people depending on you, and you got a household to
Mm-hmm.
maintain, and you know what I'm saying, you got bills that will not stop coming in.
Right. Right.
So
You pay them and they be right back.
yeah, it's like, I just paid you. Why you calling me? Leave me alone. I just gave you my check.
What?
Yeah,
Right.
it's difficult, but you do have to have an moment to just reflect and do what's best for you. And I think enough of us, we're not selfish when we need to be selfish to make sure that we're taking care of self. Like, we do have big hearts. We want to make sure everybody around us is good, but we have to be selfish in moments and understand that your peace comes first. Protect your peace.
That's right.
Period. And that's literally the gist of what this whole conversation is about. Your peace, and making sure you're healthy mentally, making sure emotionally you're sound, making sure your health is good. Like, your peace is it's
Your
the
priority.
most,
It's yours.
yes, it's the most important thing.
And you know what's crazy is, years ago, we're talking 20 plus years ago, I was in a relationship, you know, right out of, you know, I was probably like 20. Well, now I'm aging myself. But anyway, I think I was like 22. And, you know, I thought I was in love. Here we go with that whole lust and love, or just, is just somebody filling the void? If y'all don't remember, check out that episode. Anyway, so I was dating this guy way back then. I was confused, not sure what I wanted in life, but you know, he was filling a void. So we moved in together, and things went south fast. And I was always that person. I had a lot of friends who had been in situations where they were in abusive relationships, and I used to be like, that will never happen to me. Not me. Not doing. And then it happened to me. And I knew, and everybody's different, but for me, one time was enough. You only had to put your hands on me once, and it was over. Not everybody is that lucky or that strong to be able to say one time is enough. Some people stay for years. Some people stay because of their kids. You know, and you can't really tell them when they can do it or when they should be doing it, because it's really up to that person. All you can do is be supportive and be there and be a friend and be non-judgmental. You know, give them that be that ear for them. You know, also, you know, it's not like you're going to sit there and be a friend and not tell them that they should leave. But you can't force a person to do it. They're not going to do it before their time.
Right.
That's real. And I think just to piggyback off of what Cam was saying, for me, I'm one of those people that I'm always there for everybody else. But then I look around and I'm like, so who's here for me? You know, the strong person gets weak sometimes, and you need to pick me up. And you don't get that all the time, you know. So it's kind of like, let me separate from those who aren't adding value and who are taking more from me. And even with what you touched on, Dawn, I don't know if you all seen, but I think it was Douglasville. My aunt's coworker was killed, her and her daughter. Boyfriend, the daughter's boyfriend, killed them. She was trying to leave him, and the mother stepped in front of the daughter, trying to stop him from shooting her. He shot the mom, shot the daughter, and aimed at the brother. He injured the brother and left, but he wanted to kill the brother as well. The brother just survived. So it's real. Domestic violence is real. You know, like I said, toxic. If it's toxic, cut it off. That doesn't define who you are. You know, don't let someone dictate who you are and how you are. And that's not love. Remember we talked about that, like Dawn said, go check out that episode, those episodes, because it's part 1 and part 2. But that's definitely not love. If someone doesn't have to put their hands on you or speak down upon you, because you can be abused mentally. You know what I mean? And you lose that confidence in yourself. So always look yourself in the mirror, pick yourself up, and keep going. And if you feel like somebody is pulling you down, let them go. You'll find somebody better.
Absolutely.
It might take some time, but you will. Trust me. I dealt with it. I was dealt with domestic violence for 5 years. strong years. So I know, like my oldest son, he still remembers the times. So, you know, if you're dealing with that, you know, it's when is enough? You have to look at the big picture.
Keish, when was enough for you? What was that turning point where you said no more?
My children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want them to become immune to, you know, seeing that, because children will see it, and at first it might scare them. But after it becomes, you know, repetitive, they're like, oh, they're just in that fight, and that's the norm. You know what I mean? So that's what you don't want. You don't want your kids to think that that's okay. You know, and I'm all for, you know, mom and dad being together. But even with that, sometimes it's better if you all are apart. It's a healthier relationship. It doesn't mean that you all have to be together to keep the relationship healthy. You can co-parent in a healthy way.
You sure can.
Some people are better off to be friends. Some people are better off not dealing with each other at all, but strictly speaking about the child or the children. So you just have to find that common ground. But if they are literally weighing you down, let them go.
Yeah.
And I told my friend a while ago, and particularly to this, like, because the number one thing that most people say, especially if they've been in a relationship and, you know, that person now is violent towards them, or, you know, the love has died or whatever. And they're always saying, well, you know, I've been with them for years. And it's just like the years that you have spent is way less than forever. Like, so you can either decide that, okay, you know what? Yeah, I may have to, you know, cover everything by myself again, or, you know, I may have to pick up a second job, but like you will feel 1,000 times better hustling by yourself and depending on someone that isn't there for you or that takes more than they give for you. You know? So you have to realize that, like, all right, this ain't it. And it's time to like, and it's okay. Like, no one's gonna judge you. And if anyone has anything to say about that, ask them. You get with them then. Like, you wasn't with me when they was hitting me or when they was out cheating on me or talking at me, you know, any type of way. So how dare you try to tell me what I need to be doing with our relationship if you have nothing to do with? Like,
right. And that's where
calling me out, y'all. Roxy is calling me out. I'm sorry, Keith, but she calling me out today, honey. Because that's one thing that I've held on to and I've struggled with is history. Oh, I've been knowing them for such and such long. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. And I see how they are. And it's just real. And I know a lot of people can relate, you know. You see how they are. They keep doing the same stuff, but then you just like, all right. Now, cutthroat. Oh, that's how you are.
But guess what though, with that, and you know what, with situations like that, I think that goes back to people come into your life in seasons or for certain reasons. You go through what you go through and it makes you a much better person. If you learn from your mistake and you grow through your mistake, then you know you're growing. But if you continue to do the same thing, then you're not growing. But that gives you that outlook of knowing, you know, hey, I learned from that situation and I'll never go back to that situation.
Absolutely. And then leaving, showing that you leave, like when you're like, you know, but my kids, but when you leave because of your kids, you're showing your kids that you don't have to take this. You're setting that example, like, don't let this happen to you. It's okay to leave. Life will go on. It might be a little bit of a struggle, but you'll be better than where you are now.
And that's where you'll find your strength.
That's right.
Power, all of that. Motivation.
You sure will. You sure will. Because with me, like when I got out of it, and everything y'all said, that's where I was. I'm like, well, we've been together this long. Well, what about my kids? You know, and it was like, what are you holding on to? And I had to really sit down and look at my children and say, is this what I want for them? I was not going to have that for them. And I didn't want my boys to think that was okay. So it's like now, like my oldest son, he's 13, and I see him, you know, I let him, his girlfriend come over sometimes, but I see how precious he is with her. And he always tell me, I'd never be like my dad. I will never, ever be like my dad. And I'm proud of him for the young man that he is becoming. So, I mean, it was beneficial. you know.
It goes to you, Keisha, because he got that from you, because you set that example. You got out. Yep. Unfortunately, so many people don't, but there are a lot of resources out there, and I'm sure we're going to leave some
definitely
so that you guys can utilize them if needed.
Thank you again, Realist, for joining us. We definitely got into this topic, and you need to really think and ask yourself, when is enough enough? So just make sure you like, subscribe, comment, talk to us, follow us, everything, share, and repost, and we'll see you on our next episode.
And always remember, we're keeping it straight with no chaser.
With no chaser.